So the October 2024 Visa Bulletin is out, and guess what? Some major good news for family-based immigration. We have some major advancement forward, and I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. We also some good news for employment-based immigration, but the bigger news is on the family side. On the employment side, we have a big change from the USCIS about who may be eligible to file adjustment of status inside the United States, and I'm going to tell you about it in this video. And finally, some really good news for EB-5 applicants who are applying for their green cards for investment. All this is happening in the October 2024 Visa Bulletin. So let's jump into the video. All right, so exciting news. October 2024 Visa Bulletin is here. And just like we do every single month, I'll break it down for you. I'll summarize the most important points. And we always summarize the Visa Bulletin in our blog, literally the day when it comes out. Yesterday, we finished the summary. I'm going to share the screen with you so we can go over this. It's a very detailed summary. We always do it for our viewers, for our readers, and I'm going to share it with you on this platform. So we'll talk about exactly which categories advanced, which categories retrogress, and what to expect in the October Visa Bulletin, especially for the year moving forward, because this is the first Visa Bulletin for the new fiscal year, FY 2025, and it gives us some pretty significant predictions as to what to expect moving forward. So let's look at the chart. I'll summarize it for you step by step. And just so you know, when we're looking at this chart, and you can see the link to our blog in the description of this video, but it's important for us to go over this in the video so you understand what's happening. For the first time in many months, USCIS announced that they're going to be accepting for adjustment of status the dates for filing chart for employment-based as well as for family-based categories. As you know, in the previous months, they were accepting dates for filing chart for family-based petitions that are currently inside the United States, adjusting their status, and final action dates for employment-based. But in the October 2024 Visa Bulletin, they will be using dates for filing both for family petitions and for employment-based petitions. Now, what that means is that if you're inside the United States and you're filing for adjustment of status, that chart is usually a little bit faster. It allows you to file for adjustment of status, eventually get your work permit, and live in the United States, waiting for the final action date chart to become current and for you to get your green card. Now, what is important to understand, and also looking at the October 2024 Visa Bulletin, it makes me understand that, yes, you can file your adjustment of status inside the United States, but remember, we're looking at the statistics of USCIS. They have thousands of cases already in the adjustment pipeline. So it doesn't look like they will be able to catch up on this in fiscal year 2025. Yes, you can file for the adjustment of status and you'll be able to stay here and work and travel. But the adjudication of these cases is still going to take a long time. In fact, if you look at overall visas and you know, whether you're inside the United States or outside the United States, people often ask me, well, when are they going to catch up to what we saw before the pandemic? You know, we look at 2019, 2018 Visa Bulletin processing times. And looking at this Visa Bulletin and the projections that I can see is that, remember, the State Department is still catching up with visas. National Visa Center is still fairly backlogged. So it's going to take them at least 4-5 years, maybe even 6 years, maybe even 2031 until we're going to go back to the same numbers we've seen 2019, 2018. And the reason is they're chopping through this backlog in very small increments, maybe 4%, 5%. Every time I do an NVC, when are you going to get your visa video, I give you predictions of 4% backlog increase, 4% backlog update, things like that, which means that they're not really chopping through this backlog very fast. It's small increments, which, again, to be realistic, it will take us at least 5 years to cut through this backlog and come back to the same numbers. So let's jump into the summary, give you some highlights of this exciting October Visa Bulletin. First of all, what we can see and what we can expect, and it's something, like I said, it's a summary that we condense it to make it more understandable for you. And from the comments I get from you guys, our videos are the most simple to digest when it comes to Visa Bulletin, and we'll continue to do that for you. Okay, so let's start with the employment base. The final action date, for example, for China EB3 professionals, will go back by 5 months to April 1st, 2020. And again, when we go to the chart, you can see how it reflects with the previous month. The date for filing will also go back by almost 8 months to November 15, 2020. Not so good news for China. The final action date for EB3 professionals and skilled workers worldwide will advance by almost 2 years to November 15, 2022. I told you in the previous Visa Bulletin that to be patient for EB3. Um, Again, there was a big retrogression, but now we see movement forward of almost 2 years to November 15, 2022, and the date of filing will advance by 1 month to March 1st, 2023. So a little bit of good news for EB3. It's not yet where we want to see it, but you're going to see further advancement in the Visa Bulletin as we get the new fiscal year. For India, EB5 unreserved final action date will advance by more than 1 year to January 1st, 2022. This is a very good time for applicants from India to apply for the EB5, specifically in the rural areas, because you're going to see movement that is really fast. And if you want to get a green card as an Indian national, EB5 is going to be one of the best categories to do so. Let's look at some highlights in the family based categories, which is the most exciting for the October 2024 Visa Bulletin. And again, before we jump into the family-based categories, I want to remind you guys, we do this every month. Please subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to share this video with more people just like you. As always, if you need help with your immigration matters, now is the time to send me a text, 619-483-4549, or go to www.immigrationasap.com. Leave your details, and one of our team members will contact you. Take advantage of this. If you're stuck with your immigration case, we're here to help. Okay, family sponsored. What's happening in October 2024? F1 Mexico will advance by 7.8 months to January 1st, 2003. This is a nice advancement of almost 8 months. F2A Mexico will advance by 1 month to March 8, 2021. F2A, all other countries will advance by 1 week to November 2021. Remember, we've seen a big F2A movement last month, so there'll be further movements as we come down through the new fiscal year. F2B Mexico will advance by 6 months to January 15, 2005. This is a nice movement. F3 Mexico, 5.7 months. Finally, some movement. August 22, 2000. F4 Mexico will advance by 2 weeks, February 22nd, 2001. Disappointing in that category, but I think we'll see some more movement by spring of the new fiscal year. F4 India will advance by 1 month to March 1st, 2006. Let's look at the dates for filing in the family categories. Mexico will advance by 6 months to October 1st, 2005. F2B Mexico will advance by 3 months to August 1st, 2005. F3 Philippines will advance by 6 months to May 8, 2004. F3 all other countries will advance by 6 months to July 1st, 2011. And F4 Philippines will advance by 4 months, guys, to August 1st, 2006. And as you can see, family-based categories were not really moving a lot in the past few months, except from F2A. And this first time, October 2024 Visa Bulletin, we see somewhat of a movement. It's also going to be reflecting but what embassies and consulates are doing. And that's something that you'll see that has a lot of impact on how these cases are being adjudicated. So let's dive into the chart, analyze some of the charts, final action date charts like we always do. Remember, we have 2 charts, final action chart and dates for filing. The final action chart determines when actual green cards will be adjudicated, when you're actually going to get the green card. Dates for filing chart, if you're inside the United States, determines when you can file for the green card, but not get approval until the final action dates chart is current. So in the employment-based side, whatever is marked in red, is an advancement from previous month. EB1 will become current for the rest of fiscal year 2025. This is a prediction we can see from this Visa Bulletin, which is good news if you're an EB1 caliber. EB1 China will advance by 1 week, November 8, 2022. All other countries are current. EB2 India will remain at July 15, 2012. EB2 China will advance by 3 weeks to March 22, 2020. As you can see, not too much movement. EB2, all other countries will remain at March 15, 2023. Now, biggest advancement I can see is EB3 professionals and skilled workers. EB3 India will advance by 10 days to November 1st, 2012. EB3 China will retrogress 5 months to April 1st, 2020. And EB3, all other countries will advance by 1 year and 11 months to November 15, 2022. So this is the big news here, is that we have actually a movement of over a year, over 2 years almost, to November 15, 2022, which is a big relief for a lot of our EB3 clients. They've been waiting for a long time. That's going to help us big time. EB3 other workers, EB3 India will advance by 10 days. EB3 Philippines will advance by 7 months to December 1st, 2020. EB5, as I mentioned to you, EB5 good news for India will advance by 13 months to January 1st, 2022. And so if you're interested in doing this, filing EB5 as an Indian national, it's a good time to do so. China will advance by 7 months, also July 15, 2016, and all other countries remain current. Again, EB5, still a good opportunity. If you need help with any of your employment-based categories, please do not forget, send me a text, 619-483-4549. This is what the chart looks like in general. Like I say, I highlighted in red. You can see, compared to previous month, what moved. We can see that EB3 moved to 15 November 2022. We can see India moved in the EB1 category and also in the EB2 category. We can see China moved forward in the EB1 and EB2. We can see Mexico moved forward in the EB3 category. In the Philippines, EB2 and EB3 moved to 15 November 2022 and December 1st, 2020. So it's a nice movement. We're going to see more of that, obviously, as the fiscal year continues, but it's good to see that this is happening. Now, let's jump into the family-based categories, final action dates. And again, remember, as I mentioned to you before, it's going to take a while for these categories to move forward. For us to get to current dates that you want to see this kind of results we've seen before the pandemic, at least 5 years or more before we get there. So let's look at what's happening in the family-based categories. F1 Mexico advanced by 7.8 months to January 1st, 2003. F2A Mexico will advance by 1.1 month to March 8, 2021. F2A, all other countries will advance by 1 week to November 22nd, 2021. F2B Mexico will advance by 6 months, nice movement, to January 15, 2005. F3 Mexico will advance by 5.7 months to August 22nd, 2000. F4 Mexico will advance by 2 weeks only, February 22nd, 2001. F4 India will advance by 1.2 months to March 1st, 2006. So look at the chart itself. What is in bold is the movement. We have a lot of movement in family-based. F2A is now at November 22nd, 2021. China, November 22nd, 2021. India, the same, November 22nd, 2021. Mexico moved to March 8th, 2021. And the Philippines, November 22nd, 2021. We see movement in F2B, big one, specifically for Mexico, over a year, January 15, 2005. And also in the F3 and F4 categories, slight movement. But again, this is the biggest movement we've seen in family categories in a while. So something to be positive about. And you're going to see more of that happening as we continue with the fiscal year, which starts on October 1st, 2024. So again, I know a lot of you are anxious. The Visa Bulletin is somehow connected, obviously, with what's happening with NVC. It's connected with how embassies and consulate are scheduling their appointments. But I can tell you that it's not as bad as I thought. I think that we're going to see more movement in family categories as the fiscal year starts. The problem is that we still have a backlog, as I mentioned to you. Even if you file an adjustment of status and they change their position and now employment-based categories can file based on dates of filings, we've got over 11,000 adjustments pending. They're not going to be able to finish all of that in a year. So, things are flowing to the next year. So you're looking at 3 or 4 years of them trying to fight this backlog. But it's good for people to be able to file adjustment inside the United States, to be able to be with their families, which is a good move that they've done that and changed that for this particular Visa Bulletin. On the employment base, on the family based side, yes, the Visa Bulletin is moving slightly. You're going to see more people become current, but at the same time, remember, we have a lot of people that are current still stuck not getting interviews. We've got clients in Islamabad, we've got clients in Mumbai, we've got clients in Lagos that are current, but they're not getting interviews. Why? Because these embassies are very, very difficult. And I'll make a separate video talk to you about the most difficult embassies and how to deal with them and what to do. But for the purposes of this Visa Bulletin video, this is what it is. Nice movement for family base, slight movement for employment, big hope for the new fiscal year. Any questions, please let me know in the comments. The link to this particular blog is in the description of this video. Read it carefully, subscribe. We're posting the most in-depth analysis of Visa Bulletin on the web, and of course, trying to be there on videos for you as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.